All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on Colin. Thanks for hanging out with me today and every day. Rockfinners, how you doing? I see you. Oh, Brenda. It took me a while. Oh, can you see me on Rockfin yet? You should be able to. Well, there is a lag. Rockfin is a lag. I got this really cool thing in the mail from Brenda, who generally watches the show on Rockfin. Brenda Jaquila Wilcox sent me this rock with a bear painted on it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it to where it's not glaring. Can you all see that? That's pretty cool. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. It's really awesome. I'm going to put it like, where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it up there. I don't know. You can't see it there. That doesn't work. Well, that's not going to work, is it? Put it somewhere like here. We'll put it there. Can you see it there? I don't know. It's kind of far away, but it's there. Maybe that's temporary. We'll put it in a place where people can see it. But that's really cool. Thank you, Brenda. Totally awesome. I love getting things like that in the mail. And I don't actually list my P.O. box anymore. Maybe I'll put my P.O. box back in, because people used to send me stuff. And that was getting a little wonky. People used to send me stuff, and I don't know why I took my P.O. box out. I don't know. But anyways, thank you, Brenda. That was really cool. Also, I got a very nice tip on PayPal from Andrew Lubbers. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Andrew tried to tip me on Venmo and got a whole bunch of hassle. I don't know if anybody else has been experiencing the hassle on Venmo. But I'm sorry about that, Andrew. But he got through on PayPal, and I appreciate that, Andrew. Thank you very much. That was. Anyways, that wasn't you, Andre. I think it was Andrew Lubbers who tipped me on PayPal. You had him on. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, we're all here. People coming in to call in, people filing into Rockfin, people filing into YouTube. So thanks for hanging out today, guys. Just a few things I wanted to cover. Let's see. Sorry. Shouldn't scroll my phone while I'm trying to do a show. Colin Web doesn't look for you? Okay, that's weird. Seems to be working. Everybody on Colin, can you all hear me and see me? Just want to cover a few things today, but important things nonetheless. And we'll get right into it, because I did want to read the rest of that article I was reading yesterday on Rockfin. Creative Experiment says Fed is going to raise the interest rates again tomorrow to crush worker buying power instead of making billionaires pay. Huh. Is that so? I thought that they were signaling that they weren't going to raise rates, but do you think they're going to surprise? They just pull a rabbit out of the hat. Here you go. That would really suck. But thanks for the tip, though. Good tip, because it could be an interesting day in the markets. Who knows? But I'll keep my eye open for that. Obviously, that would be that would be not good. All right. Poppy sent me this: deep ocean water in the Antarctic is heating up. This is in the Antarctic. And the volume of the cold bottom waters has shrunk by more than 20%, 4 times faster than the rest of the global ocean. So that's concerning. Deep ocean water in the Antarctic is heating up and shrinking with potentially far-reaching consequences for climate change and deep ocean systems. According to a report, Antarctic bottom water is the coldest, saltiest water on the planet. These waters play a crucial role in the ocean's ability to act as a buffer against climate change by absorbing excess heat and human-caused carbon pollution. They also circulate nutrients across the ocean. But in the Weddell Sea, located east of the Antarctic Peninsula, this vital water mass is in decline due to long-term changes in winds and sea ice, according to the study published Monday by the British Antarctic Survey. Scientists used decades of data taken by ships as well as from satellites to assess the volume. So weird. Temperature and saltiness of this slice of deep Antarctic Ocean. Some of these sections were first visited as far back as 1989, making them some of the most comprehensively sampled regions in the Weddell Sea. They found that the volume of cold bottom waters has shrunk by more than 20% over the past 3 decades. They also found that ocean waters deeper than 2,000 meters have warmed 4 times faster than the rest of the global ocean. We used to think that changes in the deep ocean could occur over centuries, but these key observations from the Weddell Sea show that changes in the dark abyss can take place over just a few decades. Alessandro Silvano from the University of Southampton in the UK, a co-author of the study, said in a statement, "The reason these deep waters are shrinking is down to changes in sea ice formation caused by weakening winds," the study found. Stronger winds tend to push ice away from the ice shelf, which leaves areas of water open for more ice to form. Weaker winds have meant these gaps are smaller, slowing sea ice creation, according to the study. Now sea ice is vital to create the Weddell Sea's very cold, salty water. And as the water freezes, it pushes out salt, and as salty water is denser, it sinks to the bottom of the ocean. These changes in these deep waters can have far-reaching consequences. If this deep circulation weakens, less carbon can be absorbed by the deep ocean, limiting the ability of the ocean to mitigate global warming. All right. Obsolete Optics says it hit 49C in Iran today. Wow. Parts of India are hitting 46C. Wow. Yikes. Yeah. That's not good. I should have seen some of those temperatures on Twitter. I did not, but probably because I wasn't on Twitter this morning as much as here we go. It hit 49C in Iran today. Parts of India are hitting 46C. Peter Dines. The Arabian Sea is practically boiling. Cyclone Biparjoy is hitting 105 miles per hour and about to hit land. This is at 1.3C over how long before this whole region pushes the absolute limits of human survivability. So that, All right, well, okay, we'll look at these things real quickly here. We can shift around. We can change on a dime. Hold on one second. Why am I getting this weird interference in my Line, this has nothing to do with anything that I'm doing. It's like so strange. This is totally something else. If you guys, are you guys hearing a buzz? It started happening yesterday. And this is like I think this is a StreamYard thing. This has nothing to do. Nothing to do with what's going on with my cord. So I apologize if there's some interference on the line. Yeah, no, okay, there we go. It seems to be gone now. God, that was so strange. I mean, it just crept in, though. There was nothing. Can you guys still hear me? I guess that would be the question. Very bizarre. It was totally quiet when I started the show, and then it's just kind of pushed in. Yeah, these are very hot temperatures. Extremely hot temperatures. I see, I see and notice that some people are like, they're making the maps red to make you scared. I don't know. If it's 120 degrees, I think maybe you should be scared. And I think the map should be red if it's 120 degrees. That doesn't seem strange to me. They're trying to scare you. It's 120 degrees. You might actually die if you're out in 120 degree weather. But they're making the maps red to scare you. I don't know. I would be pretty scared to be in 120 degree. I've been in 120 degree weather. It is absolutely no fun. It's blue where it's cold, right, Russ Tiller? Thank you for pointing that out. Where it's cooler, it's not red. The red indicates heat. So it's not, this is not a ploy to be like, ooh, super scary, And I also hear things like, well, in the past, they used to just have regular temperature, regular colors on the map. And I was like, well, yeah, it wasn't as hot. There's also that. If it's just 70 or 80 degrees, the map might not be red. I don't know. But when it's 100 degrees or 120, I think it's completely appropriate to have a red map. Look at this, 43C, 44C, 38C. Oh, that's very warm. 40C, Jesus. 44C in Kuwait. 40C in Baghdad. I mean, that's just miserable, people. And think about what the humidity is there. Just think about that. I mean, that is absolute misery. Global Solidarity says pastels would calm the masses. Of course. I mean, wouldn't it be a little incongruous to have a map that was like all blues and greens, calm colors, where the temperature was 44C? Like, that would just be ridiculous. That would be so weird. Meanwhile, it's 44C. Nice, calming blues. Anyways, that's pretty incredible. Spike in ocean heat stuns scientists, but have we breached a climate tipping point? How could you even answer? What is that question, Jeff Baradelli? I think he's quoting, so we won't attribute this nonsense to him. He is quoting this headline. Have we breached a climate tipping point? Departure from normal, ocean temps, here they go. We are entering, I mean, this is just stupid. I don't know, guys. Have we breached a tipping point here? This red line going straight looks like, a nice day for a Tesla stock. but but for to ocean temperatures, that is stupid. That is, you know, it should be downright terrifying. This kind of thing right here is terrifying. Right? Because it should be way down here if it was anywhere near normal. It should be kind of binking and bonking along down here where these other things are binking and bonking along. No, it's going straight up, literally off the charts. I already covered this yesterday, but I mean, so are we still asking this question? Have we reached the climate tipping point? I don't know. Are any of the people that have questions about climate change looking at this graph? Have you seen this graph? I don't know. All the dead fish washing up in Texas? Yes. Also very scary. Somebody actually just posted something really. I was talking about the dumosity of people saying, what are they doing to these fish? They're trying to claim this is climate change. And climate defiance is when you heat water, its oxygen is released into the air. So warmer water has less oxygen. That's what's happened in Texas. Now there are dead fish as far as the eye can see. Also, dead zones where there's very little water are all over the place, all over the globe. One of those places is the Gulf of Mexico. And it's expanding. It's becoming uninhabitable to species of fish. That's what's happening. I'm sorry you can't see that. Well, we saw this yesterday too. There's also pollution. There's also other things going on. But, you know, gee, let's try and invent something dumb about what's happening. Instead of just saying, well, do you think we ruin the planet so that these fish cannot live or survive anymore? I mean, really, when it just, you know, if you want to just, it's got to be some kind of, somebody's doing somewhere, somebody, Dr. Evil's in the mountain pulling the levers. I don't know. You can't possibly, you can't possibly let the idea into your mind that humans have just mucked up the planet. There's got to be, Mr. Whisker Twister. It's got to be that guy. It's got to be the bad guys doing the things with the fish and making them. Could it possibly be that all humans are Mr. Whisker Twister? Together as a collective, we're just too smart or too dumb for our own good. I don't know. You choose which. I don't know. Meanwhile, the North American sea surface temperature is off the charts. I don't know. Please give me your best explanation. I want to know. I want to know what's really going on. And I also want that to have I want some data and evidence. I want some video footage. I want studies by top scientists, not like dudes who don't even study climate, retired nuclear physicists, geologists working for oil companies. I don't want to hear from those people. I want to hear from people who are concerned, are studying climate change and understand what's going on. Do you have any of that? I don't know. Please keep trying. Please keep trying. This is also very interesting. Mark Plant sent me this. This also raises some questions. From the Lever. And Lever does pretty good work. I really like David Sirota's work. I think it's pretty balanced. I mean, he's definitely, he obviously believes in climate change, believes it's happening, and is a lefty on the left side of the spectrum, but he does pretty balanced criticisms of the Democratic Party and the left and what they're doing, or that the Democratic Party isn't a left-wing party, right? David Sirota is on the left. The Democratic Party is not on the left. So there's that. That's a very fine distinction to understand. You can be left. Particular pundits and people can be on the left. The Democratic Party is not on the left. The Democratic Party is not a left-wing party. It is a right-wing. You have two right-wing parties. They're both doing the same thing. They're both doing the fascist. I don't know how you can not see that. It's pretty obvious that they're both doing the fascist, right? And they're pointing at each other going, fascist, or one's going communist and one's going fascist, but they're both fascist. They're both doing the fascist. But anyways, whatever. I digress. Meanwhile, the American Capitalist Party regime, there's one party called the Capitalist Party, exempts our global warming corporations from smoke lawsuits. So this is really wild. Oil lobby pushed pollution loophole for wildfire smoke. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? If they understood that a consequence of climate change might be wildfires, but they don't want to be held responsible for it, why wouldn't they want to be held responsible for it? Because you think somebody could find a tie between climate change and what they're doing? I mean, it is a consequence of climate change. If it gets hotter and plants dry up and trees dry up, the ground dries up, and we have mega droughts, it gets hotter, well, then you would create conditions in which wildfires would be, much more susceptible to start. Is that really difficult to understand? Is that a really difficult concept to understand? I mean, really, how difficult of a concept is that? It's, when it's really hot or hotter than usual, hotter than normal, or plants and vegetation are drier than usual. It's kind of wild why there's a wildfire season in Southern California, right? Usually, historically, the season has been at the end of the summer when it's been hot and dry all summer, then the wildfires start. Golly gee. It's so difficult to understand. But you all got to think of 13 other ways in which the wildfires could have started, except for the fact that it's hot and dry. If you got data and evidence, I'm willing to partake in a theory. I'm totally willing to partake in a theory. By the way, the video I showed you the other day, I want to actually backtrack and clarify. The video of the guy saying all these fires started at once. That video is from the DuPage College website, right? And that is a little bit of a misdirect there from Wide Awake Media. So they said the way they listed that is they said a meteorologist from DuPage College is questioning the fires. No, actually, what I saw that video on another. I didn't know where that. And that's why I always, when I play things, I try to say, hey, we're taking this at face value, or we're just looking at this, but there could be more information that can be revealed. So I saw that video and an explanation of where that video came from in another video. And that video is from a climate skeptic. Basically, a climate skeptic channel. So that video itself is from the DuPage College website, but it was another person using that footage to go, hey, why did they start all at the same time? It was a different guy. It was a guy who is, who thinks that the sun is causing the things, right? It couldn't be humans, that it's the sun that's causing the things. So I just want to clarify, actually, indeed, the narration for that video comes from somebody else. So it does not come from the College of DuPage, right? It's not a meteorologist at the College of DuPage who was saying that. So that was actually, good job, Wide Awake Media, for lying to people. That was a misdirect. And that was, you're not giving people the full information when you post that video. When you're trying to say, oh, the College of DuPage is telling you that they're doing this. Okay. So don't do that. Don't misinform people and lie to people. When you're trying to tell people that, right? Because that was clearly misinformation. Maybe they thought it really was but that was not. It was actually a video from another website. So I just want to clarify that. I figured it out. You could still look at that video and think that's weird. You could still look at that video and go, huh, okay, they all started all at once. But there's still no explanations. There are more explanations for why the fire started, otherwise, lightning or whatnot. And that it's been very hot in Canada, and that all the vegetation up there is not there's the permafrost is melting and things are very different up there now. The weather is very different. There are more explanations for that than there are for why did all the fires start at once. I mean, if you have information or evidence that, links, videos, or somebody's been picked up by the police that started these fires, let me know so I can, correctly cover it. But for now, that video and the assumption around how the fire starting all at once is just that. It's an assumption. So anyways, I don't know why I'm I don't know why this is linked to that. Anyways, going back to this, oil lobby push pollution loophole for wildfire smoke. And again, this is just as damning as anything else. Right? This is an acknowledgement that the actions and the products, the use of the products of this company, the actions of these corporations, pretty much the biggest corporation on, the biggest entity on the planet, right? The oil drives everything. So if it isn't the largest, conglomerate of corporations by just dollar value, it's the largest conglomeration of corporations by importance, right? So the oil companies, all of the oil companies together have to be singularly the most powerful lobby on the planet. And they don't really even have to flex their power, their power all that hard, right? Because everybody needs oil, right? So nobody's really going to push back on anything they want to do. Anything they have to say or anything they want to do. Nobody's really going to push back on it. People are just going to be like, well, we need the oil, so what are we going to do? We want to tell people that climate change is really bad and it's probably going to destroy the planet in 20 years. But these oil guys are making very good points over here. They're saying that, well, without their product, this civilization would collapse. And they have a point there. They don't know how the fire started. Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, I think they have some surmises about lightning, but again, we don't know either way. If they do know, if it is, if there's a smoking gun somewhere, I would like to know one way or the other. Oil lobby pushed pollution loophole for wildfire smoke. Climate change is intensifying toxic wildfires, but big oil has pushed to exempt the resulting pollution from federal air quality standards. Huh. I mean, this seems to indicate that they know that they're complicit in something, right? This seems to indicate that they know that there is a direct connection between the use of their products and the destruction of the environment. They seem to know that, right? Why would they lobby? Why would they spend the money? Why would they go to the effort? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why would they, exert all this influence and flex their power, the oil power, the oil lobby power? Why would they do this if they didn't understand that there was a direct connection between the use of their products and the destruction of the environment, leading to what? Wildfires? Why would they do that if they didn't if they didn't know the connection? So it's just, why would State Farm stop insuring, homes in California due to the risk of wildfires? Due to the ongoing escalation of climate change. Why would they do that? Why would they? They don't want to put themselves in a position to lose money. That's the point. Anyway, 75 million people nationwide have been under air quality alerts, and days of smoke-filled skies sent soot levels soaring more than 10 times beyond what federal regulators consider safe for breathing. But in federal air quality data, it will be as if those days never happened. That's because big oil-backed exemption in federal environmental law allows states to discount pollution from exceptional events beyond their control, including wildfires. Huh. I mean, I don't know. Do you need it? Do you need any more connection than that? While environmental regulators are considering cracking down on soot and particle pollution, industry groups are opposing those reforms too. Of course they are, because that's bad for business. They don't want to lose money controlling the pollution that they put out into the air. Yeah, Amanda, no, that's true. Turbulence has gotten a lot worse because of climate change. That's true. That's a real thing. Under current rules, states like New York, where residents have been urged to remain indoors, won't have their hazardous air quality index levels count against their compliance with the Federal Clean Air Act. So emissions sources in the state, for example, won't be required to reduce other discharges to help offset the smoke pollution. Wow. Every air quality monitor from New York to D.C. is going to blow past the limit, said Sanjay Narayan, a managing attorney with Sierra Club's environmental law program. But instead of localities counting the data towards the overall standards they're required to maintain, he said they'll say, this is caused by wildfires, so we'll continue to do what we normally do. All right. Unbelievable, right? Oh, no. It wasn't too dirty from the wildfires, so we can't count that in emissions, so you guys can go ahead and just keep the factories humming. I meant to get to this before it got too late. But, I mean, I don't know how much is a very... I would like to read... I mean, basically, this is a very interesting article that Poppy sent me about the U.S. intelligence agencies stockpiling dirt on all its citizens. And they're able to do so because they're buying it, not taking it. For some reason, the fact that they're spending money getting this dirt on people, or scooping up or vacuuming up all your information, apparently it's okay if you do that, if you buy it. Yeah, this is from 2023, right? I mean, okay, so this is not new news, and we all know this, right? So I guess this is just another in a long line of oh hey, they're just they know everything about you and they're tracking you constantly all the time. Like, I don't know. There's really, I could go into, I guess I could read this article and it would just tell you really a really scary tale about how everything about you is being monitored and surveilled by the US government. You should know that. You should know that. But I mean, it seems this article pretty much details, you know, why it's way worse than we thought, right? So, I don't know. It seems that we are heading towards, a total surveillance state. I mean, that's pretty clear. And I don't know, right now we still enjoy the facade. Oh yeah, art. Yeah, they know we are watching this broadcast. No, they are watching this broadcast as well. So yeah, I'm sure of it. And you would think, why do they care about some dude who's, no, I mean, they have the facilities and faculties um, to drop in. And I'm sure that's where the Slavas and some other folks come from. It's probably like people dropping in to spread the message of love. Anyways, it's clear we're heading towards a surveillance, an extreme surveillance state. We still operate under a little bit of a facade of freedom in the U.S. We still have some kind of like semblance of, we know there's censorship and we know that platforms censor people all the time. And we seem to be okay with that. But mostly, we can say we don't like the censorship, or we don't like the state, or we don't like Biden, or we don't like Trump, or we don't like, we can still kind of speak our piece for the most part. But it's quickly escalating to the point of a surveillance state where I don't want this to happen, but I mean, people should be very aware that you could start feeling the repercussions of a surveillance state pretty soon, right? They're tracking all the money you spend, or where you spend it, and where you get it, and all that, right? Stuff. I mean, already, there are a lot of channels that have been banned from money exchanges, from PayPal and Patreon and all. They're because they have enough listeners and they have a big enough reach that the people in charge know who they are, and they're like, we don't like that, and you're not going to use our platforms. That's kind of scary. That's a pretty far-reaching authoritarianism right there, don't you think? Even though some people will say, well, they're private companies and they can decide who uses their platform. No, that's called fascism. That's fascism. The state is censoring you through the corporation. Do you understand that? The corporations are not just like, kindly entities trying to keep everybody safe. That's not what's happening. So, just be aware that it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. Unless people decide to say something or do something. Unless, people are like, hey, I don't know if I like this anymore. This seems kind of scary. Lance, I want to read the rest of this article, so I don't know if I'm going to take calls today. I apologize, but whatever. Anyways, there goes Lance. I apologize, Lance. It's still legal to vote for a tyrant, indeed. Yeah. So right now, it seems to be kind of something that it's something that people can ignore and avoid if they're, have some money and they have some privilege and they have some comfort in their life, and they can kind of, and they're not doing anything to upset, well, I'm not doing anything wrong, so I'm not a victim of any of this. But if you want to if you want to take a stand on something, hey, wait a minute. You're, blocking me from taking money out of my bank account because you didn't like something I said on Facebook. Wait a minute. When you get to that point, it's kind of late in the game. And, so you think you're comfortable and you think you're safe until you're not. Right? If only the people with the big mouths would just shut up. Hey, Fresh Air, thank you for pressing the like button. Do like Fresh Air and press the like button, everybody, if you're watching the show. I appreciate it. All right. Well, so I do want to finish reading this article that I was reading yesterday about what's going on in Wuhan. So, or what went on in Wuhan. Who called it Wuhan? That was me. So we're going to switch over to Rockfin. Oh, but before we do, you all know the deal. The very bestest ways to support the show: PayPal.me/Kevin Sandbloom, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, Cash App at Red Llama Music, BuyMeACoffee.com at Black Bear News. Those are the best ways to support the show. You can also Rockfin tip me or YouTube tip me. And thank you guys, all the supporters of the show. I appreciate you. We're going to switch to Rockfin now. All right. We'll see you tomorrow, YouTubers, at 12 p.m.